Young Corda, I firstly want to commend both committees of the House for the manner in which they have conducted the meetings to date. I want to support the Chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, Brian Stanley, in his request today relative to those who should appear before the committee and relative to the paperwork that he has required. I would also say to you that the powers given to PAC need to ensure that they have compellability and that they have the right to send for persons and papers, as is the case with an investigation by the CNAG. And I'd like to know, why has the CNAG not been involved in this? The government could have given full powers to the CNAG to carry out the respective analysis of the taxpayers' money that went into RTE. Now, I have asked umpteen times for the powers of PAC to be extended to local government and to the examination of any taxpayers' money that has been allocated to an agency where it needs to be investigated. And every government over the last 10 years has failed to grasp the whole issue of audit. If you go back to the banking collapse and the financial crisis, the auditors said the banks were okay, they were solvent. 2 days later, we were all gone bust. Those same auditors are now being asked to look at RTE. Did we learn anything at all from them? No, we didn't. So we should be looking outside the state for auditors that are not compromised in any way and that understand the role of governance. We need to have governance as a rules-based approach. And until we make these changes, we're going to have these crises, not just in RTE. We already had them in the Guards. We already had them in Horse-Sport Ireland. We've already had them in local government, and nothing has been learned. So I'm asking that all of the paperwork, including the contract with Renault, be made available, open. Let's see what's going on in RTE, and let's respond accordingly. What happened in the audit committee? Why did no auditor or accountant pick this up over a period of, say, 10 years? Never picked up. Nobody saw anything. Now, the audit committee has failed. The government over those years has failed. And we need to do something extraordinary to rescue the reputation of RTE and to put in place mechanisms that will protect the workers and that will ensure that any hard-nosed agent acting on behalf of anyone working with RTE is held to account. So the question arising from that is, when did the negotiations take place? Who signed off on the agreement? Who signed off on the payment? Now, to go back to the valuable work being done by PAC, it was like extracting teeth listening to that committee meeting. And that shows you how deep the culture is in RTE, avoiding all of the questions. The transparency that all of us are asking for is being deprived from those hearings. It's not present. And that tells me that there is a huge issue beyond just this. You can look at Ryan Tubridy or any of the rest of them. What we should be looking at is who did the deal and what happened on the RTE side. That's our job here. Corruption starts at the top, and we need to look at the possibilities of all of that right down through the organisation. But I would say to you, Minister, sitting at Cabinet, that there is an urgent need to look at the reform of PAC, the extension of their powers and the remit of the Comptroller and Auditor General. It has been avoided for years and years. And as long as that happens, the message going out from government is lip service to governance and transparency. Lip service. And this will blow over like many other issues that faced organisations in the state. And the politics of it will be dealt with. We had this grand debate. Now, I have to leave 4 minutes for my colleague here, which I will do. But isn't it another disgrace that backbenchers are limited to that 4 minutes? That we cannot fully flesh out the issues that we might know about. So the government, again, by restricting the opposition parties and backbenchers, is now avoiding the issue by limiting the debate, and that just adds further to the scandal. So I would ask you, Minister, to insist that the questions are answered, to insist that Brian Stanley and the other committee are duly supported, and to insist on honesty and truth, because we're not getting it.